From the moment they were formed on the survival show Island, ENHYPEN wasn't just another rookie group. They were the new face of HYBE, the company behind BTS. And with that came a level of fame and scrutiny that would quickly spiral into a series of public trials few could have predicted. The first whispers of trouble began in 2021, revolving around member Sunu. Known for his bright, infectious energy, Sunu suddenly took a hiatus. The official reason was health-related, dizziness, and heart palpitations. While fans sent their support, a different, more sinister conversation started brewing in the corners of the internet. Netizens, a term for active online users, began what's called micro-analyzing old content. They would take clips from variety shows, live streams, and behind-the-scenes footage, slowing them down to study the members' expressions. A moment where Sunu was quiet while others talked, or a glance that wasn't returned, was isolated and presented as proof of a larger narrative. Without any concrete evidence, rumors spread that Sunu was being bullied or ostracized by his own group members. This phenomenon is uniquely potent in K-pop, where groups are marketed as found families. Any deviation from constant visible harmony is seen as a red flag. The company issued a denial, and Sunu returned to activities, but the incident set a precedent. It showed that ENHYPEN's every interaction would be dissected not as normal human behavior, but as potential evidence of discord, turning their real-life friendships into a public soap opera judged by strangers. Shortly after, the controversy shifted from their personal dynamics to their artistic expression. The B-side song from their 2021 album suddenly found itself under a harsh spotlight in 2022. The lyric, "I guess I'm a fool who only knows how to sing and dance," was seized upon by critics. They argued this wasn't just a metaphorical line about feeling inadequate. They claimed it was a covert cry for help from the idols themselves. The interpretation was that ENHYPEN was secretly confessing they were mere puppets of HYBE, stripped of any creative autonomy, trained only to perform like robots. This tapped directly into a long-standing criticism of major K-pop agencies as factory-like systems. Fans countered, explaining the song's context was about personal struggle, not corporate rebellion. But the narrative stuck for many outsiders. It created a lens through which everything ENHYPEN did was viewed. When they discussed participating in songwriting, skeptics dismissed it as tokenism. When they talked about their concepts, some said it was all crafted by a corporate team. This scandal was less about a specific act and more about perception. It attempted to strip away their ownership of their own careers, framing their success as purely a product of corporate engineering rather than their own talent and hard work. Then the most severe type of allegation hit, a school bullying scandal. In early 2023, an anonymous post on a Korean online forum claimed member Hee-sung had been a violent bully, a kangpae, during his middle school years. The post included specific, alarming details meant to sound credible. In South Korea, such accusations are among the most damaging imaginable. The public sentiment is severe, and careers can end overnight. The panic was immediate. The ENHYPEN fandom, NGenes, went into overdrive, becoming digital detectives to defend him. They scoured the internet for positive testimonials from real former classmates, shared old yearbook photos showing a normal student, and created lengthy threads debunking the anonymous claims. Bellif Labs' response was notably swift and aggressive. They didn't just issue a vague denial. They stated they had personally verified facts with Hee-sung's former homeroom teacher, and multiple classmates found the allegations to be entirely false and immediately initiated legal proceedings. This scandal highlighted the terrifying vulnerability idols face. Their entire reputation, built over years of training and debut, could be threatened by a single malicious, faceless host. While the strong legal stance ultimately protected Hee-sung, the emotional toll was immense. It was a brutal lesson in how their past, present, and future could be hijacked by a lie. The pressure wasn't only from external critics, sometimes it erupted from within their own fan base. K-pop culture has intense subsets known as shippers, fans deeply invested in the romantic or emotional relationship between two specific members. In 2023, a routine live broadcast by member Jake became a flashpoint. He read a comment mentioning fellow member Sung-hoon, smiled, and gave a brief, offhand reply. To most viewers, it was nothing, but within certain shipping circles, this moment was analyzed frame by frame. His smile was deemed sarcastic, his tone dismissive. Edited clips, often slowed down and paired with ominous music, spread across TikTok and and Twitter, purporting to show Jake's real, cold feelings. This sparked a vicious internal fan war, with one faction attacking Jake for being a bad friend and the other defending him. For ENHYPEN, these fan wars create a no-win situation. They are policed on their every interaction. If they are overly affectionate, it's called fan service and deemed fake. If they are casual or normal, it's spun as evidence of a rift. It forces them to constantly self-censor and perform their friendships according to an unwritten, ever-changing rulebook set by the most vocal parts of their audience, making genuine, relaxed moments nearly impossible. The final layer of controversy connects them to the larger machine they're part of, HYBE itself. In 2024 and 2025, HYBE and its chairman Bang Si-hyuk faced significant business controversies and legal investigations unrelated to ENHYPEN. However, as the most prominent active group under the HYBE umbrella following BTS's hiatus, ENHYPEN became a proxy in the public debate about the company. Their achievements were often framed not as their own, but as a result of HYBE's market power. This reached a peak at the 2025 Mama Awards. After winning a major award, leader Jungwon gave an emotional speech. Through tears, he thanked Bang Si-hyuk, saying he thanked him for not seeing us as a product, but for respecting us as people. For Engines and the members, this was a raw, heartfelt moment, referencing guidance they'd received since their I-Land days. But in the heated anti-HYBE climate, the speech was instantly recontextualized. Critics and rival fan communities labeled it a carefully crafted publicity stunt, a cynical attempt to use the idols to humanize a corporate figure under fire. News outlets fueled the fire by publishing articles highlighting the negative online reactions, giving a platform to comments that called the boys pawns and their tears scripted. This incident perfectly illustrates the ultimate bind. Even their most sincere emotions can be dismissed as corporate strategy. Their individual voices can be drowned out by the larger narrative surrounding their powerful company, making it difficult for their personal truths to break through the preconceived notions of critics. Living constantly under this microscope has inevitable consequences. The industry's pressure cooker environment, compounded by these repeated public scandals, takes a tangible toll. Members have openly discussed their struggles. Jungwon has spoken about the weight of leadership and public expectation. Sunu, after his health hiatus, referenced the difficulty of maintaining a bright image when he didn't feel it inside. Haesung has alluded to the stress of constant performance. While they don't explicitly link these feelings to specific controversies, the pattern is clear. The rumors about bullying, the debates over their authenticity, and the character attacks create a background noise of stress that amplifies the already intense pressures of idol life. They are young men growing up in real time, but their growing pains are broadcast and debated globally. The industry's response, often focused on legal threats and brief statements, does little to address the psychological impact of being perpetually on trial in the court of public opinion. So, what does ENHYPEN's journey through these controversies really tell us? It's a stark case study in the evolution of fame in the digital K-pop era. Their career is a live document of all the ways the system can test its biggest stars. They face the ancient K-pop dilemma of manufactured perfection versus real human complexity. They battle the modern plague of online misinformation, where anonymous allegations can trend worldwide in hours. They navigate the double-edged sword of passionate fandom, where immense love can sometimes curdle into possessive scrutiny, and they operate under the shadow of their corporate parent, where the company's battles become their own. Through it all, they have not broken. They've set world records on tour, performed at festivals like Coachella, and consistently released music that connects with millions. Their resilience is, in many ways, their defining trait. But their story forces us to ask a critical question. At what cost is this resilience built? And as the K-pop industry continues to globalize and intensify, ENHYPEN's experiences may well be a blueprint for the controversies that await the next generation of idols, making their survival not just their own story, but a cautionary tale for the entire industry.